So my name is MicahSmalley, and today I'm going to be talking about growing food for a fuller future. If you heard me speak on Tuesday, I spoke about food deserts, and so today I'm going to be continuing on with that, talking about more of an individualistic solutions approach to fighting that. So growing in food deserts is really difficult. There's not a lot of space. There's not a lot of knowledge of how to and what to grow, and often the soil is polluted, and soil remediation takes a long time. There are many solutions, but a lot of them require outside people to come and help. People living, to start a community garden, that's not an easy thing to do. It's not a thing that a lot of people that are living in food deserts know how to do, inherently. So oftentimes people from the outside have to come in to help them to start these types of things. Also with the mobile markets that I talked about, you can't just wake up one day in a food desert and go get a bus and fill it with fresh fruit, bring it around and sell it to people. It's not really feasible to do that on your own. So, but there are individual solutions that people can do. So yeah, the problem is that if you have a home, you have a yard, your soil, it's most likely polluted, especially in the urban areas. And then if you have an apartment, townhouse, you don't have a yard, you don't have anywhere you can grow food. And in food deserts, you have to travel a long distance for this fresh food. That's the problem. If you're in an urban area, it's 1 or more miles. A rural area is 10 or more miles. So learning to grow simple foods is an easy way to combat this. There are a lot of plants that can grow inside, especially herbs. You can grow them in your windowsill. And that's actually what we're going to do today. We're going to plant some chives. So if you find a window with a good amount of sunlight, then you've already got your first step done. So before we start and plant, I'm going to quickly just go over the steps. We're going to prepare our containers for drainage. So we're going to take the Dixie cup and poke some holes in the bottom because, well, I'll tell you why later. And then we're going to prepare the containers for the seeds. So put the soil in. We're going to place the seeds in the soil, water the soil, and then you're going to take it home and put it in an area in your house that gets a good amount of sunlight, whether that's a windowsill or on your porch, anything like that, that gets some good sun. So, if you're ready, you take your Dixie cup and poke some holes in the bottom. I'd say about 4 or 5, not too many, but you want draining, because if there are no holes, the water will just stay in there, become stagnant. The seeds will not like that, and it will die. So, got your holes poked. Okay, so I'll put your soil. I do have 2 bags. There's also extra soil from Sarah's, but if you don't have enough soil, I can bring you the bag of soil if she does not like to use that soil. So also, while you're doing that, I just want to touch on the fact that we are using Dixie cups. Things kind of, when you think of planting, you think more of pots, but we're using Dixie cups just kind of show the simplicity of this. It's something you can do with everyday items that you have. You don't necessarily have to go and get fancy things, especially if you're living in a food desert. If you're living in an area where it's you don't have a lot of food, you don't have a lot of the resources that you would need to grow those things. That's why it's a food desert. So start on the next one. So next we're going to plant our seeds. You want to put your seed about 1/4 of an inch deep into the soil. It's really cool. The seed packets actually say on the back, it has all this different information. So it tells you how deep you should sow it, spacing in between seeds if you're growing in the ground, how high it'll grow, and then also the days to germination, which is really nifty, especially if you don't really know much about plants. So, put our seeds in there.
Okay.
Alright. So after you get your seeds in there, you want to water it. That's why I have the paper towel. Fold it up a little bit. We don't want to make a mess in here. So just, I'll let you guys that around. And you don't want too much water. If your paper towel is soaking wet, probably not a good thing. But you do want to get it really wet, because it needs to germinate, it needs water to germinate. So chive seeds, they like a wet environment when they're germinating. Once it has germinated, it likes a more, a drier environment. It likes a well-draining soil, and it likes a good amount of sunlight. So we'll pass that around. I'll just continue on because the next step is just taking it home and putting it in a spot that gets a good amount of sunlight so that it can grow. Continuing to water it as it germinates, which it should germinate between 15 and 21 days according to the seed packet. So once it germinates, then it'll start to grow, and you can grow some chives in your windowsill. So why did I choose this? I chose it because it's very easy to set up, and the difficult part is getting the seeds to germinate and grow. It's easier if you have a good amount of sun in your house, and remembering to water it also does help. But it is challenging for those that don't receive a lot of sunlight. So if you're in a food desert and you don't receive a lot of sunlight in your house, it can be difficult to try and grow things on your own. But I think it's also still important to still try, because if you're in a food desert, like, it's worth it to try and see if you can grow these things to have fresh food that you grew yourself. And it's also a great individual step to combat food insecurity. If you're growing for yourself, then you have the greater food access that you can, like, it's more, your food is more secure in that you're growing it yourself. You will have it. You know that you will have it. So, just a quick review. Talked about combating food insecurity on the individual scale, why that's important, because a lot of times, a lot of the solutions for food deserts require other people coming in to help, and that's not often the case. Like, there are not a lot of people that are helping for food deserts. And then we prepared to grow our herbs. We made sure the cup had a drainage. We added soil, added seeds, added water, and then we were going to put it in a place that gets sun. And then we talked about the importance of it, because easy to grow plants are important in these places, because the people in communities are forced to be proactive, take their own steps to secure that they'll have healthy food. And something like this, where you can grow it in your house, on your porch, is really helpful to make sure that you have this food, and it's not that hard to do. And so, do you have any questions? Yes?
At what point during its growing would you suggest repotting it into something a little more stable and permanent?
Yeah. That's a good question. I would say, I guess when it gets to about like an inch tall, I would probably put it in something bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. Are there any more questions? Thank you.